नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका राज्यसभा टीवी में। आपके साथ मैं हूं अभिलाषा पाठक। उपराष्ट्रपति एम वेंकैया नायडू इस वक्त अफ्रीकी देश सियरा लियोन के दौरे पर हैं और इस वक्त वो भारतीय समुदाय के लोगों को वहां संबोधित कर रहे हैं। आइए सीधा रुख करते हैं वहां का।
This is the first high-level visit of any Indian functionary, that to a constitutional authority, to this part of Africa. The government of India has taken a policy to come closer to Africa and have more focus on Africa. It will be a present news for you. Out of 55 countries so far within the last 5 years, the President of India, the Vice President and the Prime Minister have covered 32 countries in Africa alone. That is the keen interest we are showing in developing close relationship with African countries. Today, I am here along with Sri Sanjay Badayan, Honorable Minister, who is elected from the state of Uttar Pradesh, looking after animal husbandry, dairy, fisheries and related subjects, coming from Bagpat in Uttar Pradesh, from an agriculture family. Sri Ram Vichar Netham, Member of Parliament, a very senior leader who has been senior minister in Chhattisgarh government earlier, Member of Parliament now from that state, who hails from that tribal background of Gondwana. He was, later way he was saying these are all once upon a time Gondwana region, this is called, and he is from that tribal background. And also we have senior officials, including Foreign Secretary in charge of this area and Secretary to Vice President. And of course, we have our ambassador who is in charge of this country. I am delighted this evening on this first high-level visit to Sierra Leone. India shares close, warm and friendly relations with all African countries, which are cemented by robust development partnership and a large presence of Indian diaspora. The engagement has intensified during the last 5 years of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi ji. Series of visits are taking place. Even I have been to Zambia, I have been to Botswana, I have been to Malawi. Now, of course, the other day I was there in another country, though it's small, Comoros, and they were also very keen to come closer. What I find in Africa is everywhere there's a lot of interest about India, affection and love towards India, because they love Indian culture, they love Indian cuisine, they love Indian cinema, and also they love the reforms that are happening, and above all, they love Mahatma Gandhi, who stayed here for 20 years and led a movement against apartheid. So they have something common with India, because they have been ruled by colonial rulers, and we also have been ruled by colonial rulers. In my visits abroad, I always, and as a matter of priority, meet with our community. And I must say, it is indeed a special and warm feeling to meet our own people, our friends abroad, and to share with them my thoughts and greetings from India. We have been celebrating the 150th birth anniversary of our Father of Nation, Sri Mahatma Gandhi. Worldwide we are doing it, and I am happy to note that Sierra Leone Postal Department have released a commemorative stamp on Mahatma Gandhi to coincide with our celebrations. I am very happy to note that I have been celebrating Yoga Day regularly. My dear sisters and brothers, Indian community in Sierra Leone has a long history. The first batch of Indians came here over 100 years ago. Some of the people, they were telling me that they are born here, though they have not forgotten their Indian roots. We had been part of peace process during civil war in Sierra Leone. 4,000 Indian troops served in the United Nations mission from January 2000 to January 2001. The Indian contingent of that mission accounted for 25% of the total strength and were the best equipped among contributing nations. I am happy to note that Indian community in Sierra Leone, through small in number, has been playing an important role in promoting bilateral ties and creating opportunities for the local economy and society. Most of the community is involved in trade and manufacturing, and some of you are engaged in the mining and trading of gold and diamonds. I am also pleased to note that the existence of Indian Mercantile Association, being the sole Indian community association in the country, is a matter of pride for us that Indian business community in Sierra Leone is highly respected. Even the President today during my one-to-one meeting, he was very highly appreciative about the Indian community. Even the Vice President who was spending time with me, he was also all praise for the Indian community. My congratulations to all of you for winning over the love and affection of the people as well as the leaders of this country. And Indian professionals are much sought after everywhere in the world. It is remarkable that all of you continue to nurture our culture and tradition. I am happy to learn that you celebrate Holi, Dasara, Diwali, Eid, Christmas and other festivals with much enthusiasm and pride. You would be celebrating Diwali in a fortnight from now, followed by Eid and Guru Parab in November. I convey my greetings and good wishes to all of you in advance for the forthcoming festival to our Indian diaspora here. Not only people present here, but also people living across the island and this country. For many of you, Sierra Leone is your new home. For still others, it is your karma bhumi. I am happy that you have been welcomed with open arms in your adopted country and in your professional spaces. India and Sierra Leone are multicultural societies. This is a shared uniqueness about the two would have been comforting to you as settled down here, making friends, families and associations. You have made significant contribution to the well-being of this country. As entrepreneurs, doctors, teachers, bankers, traders, technology experts, you are adding immense value to the Sierra Leone society and economy. We are indeed proud of your achievement and your success. And I was telling the President, he was so surprised. India, we have 760 languages. 760 languages living together. And we have in our country 29 states. We have more than 40 plus political parties. We have all the important religions of the world in India. And we are all living together. Because that speaks of our culture, that speaks of our heritage, that speaks of our civilization. My dear friends, India is one of the oldest civilizations in the world. There are civilizations like Roman and also Greek, Egypt, but what is their position? What is India's position? India is thriving. The reason being Indian philosophy, universal brotherhood, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, Vasudhaika Kutumbakam. The entire world is one family. That is the philosophy. Share and care is the core of our Indian philosophy. And India was once known as Vishwaguru. Students from abroad, they used to come to Nalanda, then Takshashila, Pushpagiri, Vikramshila, all these places, and they used to get educated. Even Chinese historians, Yuan Song, Pahian, they wrote about India's greatness at that time. India's GDP was around 20% of the world GDP at that time, trade. But India never attacked any country. In spite of being a mighty nation, a wealthy nation, We never attacked any country because we do not believe in colonization. That is the speciality of our civilization. That's why our civilization is being appreciated, welcomed everywhere. I know that many of you are aware of the developments. Many of you visit India, I am told, regularly. But those who travel after a gap of few years will find a new India now, a new experience awaiting you. Our growth and development mirrors a new confidence in the country. India is one of the fastest growing major economy in the world. We are making steady progress towards becoming $5 trillion economy and third largest consumer market in the world by 2025. Our work on building next generation infrastructure, including 100 smart cities, 7 high-speed trains, bullet train, 10 greenfield airports, countrywide digital connectivity, and thousands of kilometers of express highway continue with the same speed. It's work in progress. India is on a transformative journey of high growth and socio-economic changes. In spite of the worldwide recession, slowing of growth, India is still growing at more than 6%. The World Bank, the World Economic Forum, International Monetary Fund, everybody is saying if you move in the same tempo, India will reach even 8% also. You know, America is around 2.2, 2.3. UK is around 1.7. Many of the European countries also between 1.5 to 3. And we and our neighbor China, we are moving at around 6%. And India has the capacity because we have a demographic dividend. 65% of the Indian population is below 35 years. And we have good intelligence. Many of the multinational companies, they are all led by Indians, including Microsoft. Satya Nadella is the chairman. And if you go to, even the president was telling me that if you go to America, if you go to Silicon Valley, every second person in the IT sector, the boy or the girl, will be from India. That is how we are spreading our knowledge and giving it to others also. And India also, back home, there are full of opportunities for business, for social enterprise, and for cultural connections. I invite each one of you to join us in our transformational journey as knowledge partners and investors. Whoever want to go abroad, earlier I used to caution them. I used to tell them, go, learn, earn, and return. Now, I am not that much worried because we have enough population. Go, learn, earn, but do something back to your motherland. Because I feel everybody should remember 5 things. 1, everybody should remember mother. Mother who has given the beautiful birth. Mother includes, of course, father also. Because in woman, there is a man, M-A-N. Second, everybody should remember the Janma Bhumi. The place where you are born, you should never, never forget it. Because that's where you made your beginning. The third is the mother tongue, the language that has come from a mother's womb. You should never forget it. Promote, practice, propagate mother tongue. Whatever is your mother tongue, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayali, Marathi, Punjabi, Assamese, Hindi, Bhojpuri, Dogri, whatever it is, Urdu, whatever language that has come from mother's womb, you must promote that language because Bhasha or Bhavana ek saath chalta hai. That's a cultural identity of the people. That's why these colonial rulers, wherever they go, they first try to attack the language. They want to impose their language. Learning as many languages as possible is a welcome thing. Nothing wrong in learning English. Nothing wrong in learning French. Nothing wrong in learning even Chinese also. Learn as many languages, but do not forget mother tongue. I have taken it as a movement. Across the country, I am educating our children because we are all now being carried away by westernization and going to English medium schools. Nothing wrong, but do not ignore, do not forget your mother tongue. Mother tongue is like your eyesight, eyes. Other language is like spectacles. If you have eyes, if you have eyesight, then spectacles will give you long foresight. If you don't have sight, even if you wear ribbon glasses, it will not help you. So first have the foundation. Make your children at home speak in your mother tongue only. Outside people, talk to others, you can speak in your language. This is one way of protecting our identity. And then motherland, the country which has given you the beautiful opportunity. You should never forget your motherland. And always remember the sovereignty, the safety and security and welfare of your motherland. Fifth one is Guru. The Guru who has given you the initial knowledge should never forget him. Because Guru तो ज्ञान देने वाले, सत प्रवर्तन बताने वाले, सदाचार बताने वाले, सन्मार्ग बताने वाले, ऐसा गुरु को भी कभी भी भूलना नहीं चाहिए. And people may say, sir, now there is IT, there is now Google and all. What is the need for Guru? Even if there is some problem with Google or IT, you need to call Guru. Remember that. So Guru should be always respected. These are the 5 things, but at the same time, I would advise all the people who are living here in Sierra Leone, follow the rules, follow the regulations, follow the customs of this country, because this country has given you this opportunity to prosper. So we must respect the customs, we must respect the local civic and administrative rules and go by the legislations of the country. That is our duty. But at the same time, we should keep our touch with our, that's why you should never forget your roots. We have to maintain. The diaspora is an important component because in addition to, we are the largest democracy in the world, India, parliamentary democracy, and also one of the oldest. And we are a functional democracy. Right from the day we got freedom, we are holding elections regularly. In state, in center, and even local bodies also. We have to strengthen democracy and democratic movement across the globe. In the last few years, you would have seen a sea change in the way our government is engaging and reaching out to our diaspora. In addition to democracy, demand and demography, the Indian diaspora, are one of the main drivers of our Indian economic growth. There is today a strong connect between India and the Indian community abroad. We have started schemes such as Know India program to better connect with our people abroad. Our OCI scheme has been made flexible so that more and more people can benefit from it. We have mandated our embassies to be available around the clock to the people in need, and we are extending humanitarian assistance as and when required. We have reached out to those in dire need from Yemen to Venezuela, caught in violence, crisis, or natural disasters, and not just to India alone, but to people of over 50 other countries. I am pleased to announce that we shall be opening new High Commission, Indian High Commission, in Freetown shortly, which would further strengthen bilateral relations between India and Sierra Leone, besides taking care of the needs of Indian diaspora staying in Sierra Leone. A decision has been already taken, and that work will progress. We count our diaspora as an important partner in strengthening our international outreach. You have a role to play in spreading the message of India. In our quest for peace, prosperity, and development, Indian citizens abroad and the overseas Indian community serve as equal partners. My sisters and brothers, the recent decision of the Government of India to reorganize Jammu and Kashmir was intended to extend all the laws and benefits of development programs to that region and ensure inclusive all-round development of the state. You know, in India, many laws passed by Parliament are not applicable to Kashmir. The Supreme Court decisions are not applicable to Kashmir. The CAG, Controller and Auditor General of India, has no jurisdiction. The CBI has no jurisdiction. The investigating agencies have no jurisdiction. And the money that is being sent was not reaching to the people who are the targets. And moreover, being a bordering state, our neighbor is aiding, abetting, funding, training terrorists, and separatist tendencies are being encouraged. And the focus is more on controlling it rather than on development. So India, after considerable thought and discussion, the Government of India has decided to reorganize Jammu and Kashmir. We have not changed the boundaries of the state. boundaries will remain the same. We have made it into Jammu, Kashmir, one union territory, and Ladakh, another union territory. It's like an administrative decision of adding one more district or dividing a district into two districts. Like any country, anywhere it happens. It has happened in India also. And this is not done by government alone. It is done by the parliament. I am the chairman of the Indian Vice President, is not only a constitutional authority, second constitutional authority, but also chairman of the upper house, Rajya Sabha, what we call. So in Rajya Sabha, the government has no majority. उनके पास बहुमत नहीं था. फिर भी राज्य सभा में आपस में चर्चा करने के बाद ये प्रस्ताव जो 370 को डाइल्यूट करने का प्रस्ताव 2/3 बहुमत से पारित हो गया राज्यसभा में. Rajya Sabha has approved with 2/3 majority. People expected there will be so much this and all. But you have seen, we had discussion, all parties were allowed to participate in discussion. Cutting across party lines, many of the parties supported. In the Lok Sabha, of course, the government has majority, but there also, cutting across party line, 4/5 of Lok Sabha, they have voted in favor of this bill. So that is the background. But unfortunately, some of our people, because of their own consolations, are carrying a wrong propaganda, negative propaganda. And our neighbor also trying to give it a communal color and then trying to rake it up at the international level. Fortunately, there are not many takers of that propaganda. But still, I call upon the Indian community, diaspora across the globe, to effectively counter this disinformation. Because information with confirmation is more than an ammunition. You need to give them, this is the reality, and you can come and you can visit and you can see what is happening and all. Some people are jealous of our growth. Some people have the habit of playing communal card. And our neighbor, as I told you, has been engaging as a state policy to aid, abet, fund and train terrorists. So it's high time that we should take up a campaign to stop this disinformation and present correct pictures across the globe. You might have seen the recent visit of the Prime Minister to America, where he addressed the Houston gathering. At the power of diaspora, 50,000 people, they gathered together. And then the American president was there. He could see how Indian democracy is strong, how people of India are moving forward. So similarly, wherever we are there, we have to see that we not only integrate ourselves with the countries, but at the same time protect the cause of our motherland. This is my appeal to all of you. Lot of negative propaganda. This Kashmir is burning. Who told? Kashmir, and there is another wrong impression. Kashmir means people think those 5-6 districts of a valley. It's not the case. Kashmir valley constitutes 15% of the area. 26% of the area is Jammu. 59% of the area is Ladakh. Many people do not know this truth even in India, because this was never brought out. I'm not talking about population. This is about area, geographical area. So 59% of the area, if you make it a special union territory, Ladakh, which is predominantly Buddhists are there, the Muslims also are there, Hindus are there, they are very happy. There is total peace, not even one incident happened. In Jammu, no incident happened. People are rejoicing. And in Kashmir, certain people are trying to create trouble. That's why government has to take action. And people say, sir, India, minorities are not safe. If there is one country which is the real secular country, number one country, is India. We don't discriminate. And I can tell you, India and Pakistan, what happened in Pakistan to minority people? What was the population of minorities at the time of partition in Pakistan? What is the population now? Let anybody go through the figures. The population has come down drastically because they were harassed and they are not given equal rights. See the track record of India. Tell the people. India, 3 Muslims have become president of India. After partition on the basis of religion, 3. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, Dr. Zakir Hussain, Dr. Abdul Kalam. Three of them has become President of India. And then three Chief Justices of Supreme Court. Justice Ahmad. Also, Supreme Court judges, three of them has become Chief Justice of Indian Supreme Court, highest judicial body. Air Force, Air Marshal Latif, Chief of Air Force. General Rodrigues, Chief of Army. Like that, minorities are given due respect. Even in India, the minority, we don't think them, they are minorities, but population-wise, Sikh now has become Prime Minister of India. So this is the beauty of India. We don't discriminate on the basis of religion. We take everybody along with us. That is the ideal situation. And all these countries, some of them who are making comments about India, they should introspect among themselves. What is the local situation? What is happening there in those countries? And then talk about this thing. The elections are held in Kashmir regularly, 52, 57, 62, 67, 72. Every 5 years elections are being held. Now the Panchayat elections are going on now. The Panchayat elections are over peacefully. 70% people participated in the election. And now Block Development Council, next phase of Panchayat elections are going on now. That's what is happening. A lot of negative this thing. And you have seen the comparison, Indian Prime Minister's speech in the United Nations, speaking about peace, progress, prosperity, happiness, development, and the other man pouring venom and with all distortions against our country. So there is every need to put forth the proper point of view among the people about Article 370 and also the foundation for an equitable, inclusive developmental process in the state and reducing the negative impact of cross-border terrorism in the area over the next few years. Over the last 70 years, 42,000 people, innocent citizens in Kashmir, were killed by terrorists. 42,000 people. And now they are raising hue and cry, saying, sir, the curfew has been imposed, some people have been detained and all. Yes, the larger interest of the country is safety, security, unity, sovereignty. You need to take hard decisions. And the government is taking those decisions. We must all stand by the decisions of the government. And moreover, terrorism is the enemy of humanity. All countries must come together to isolate terrorists and to stop funding to those terrorist organizations. We celebrate pluralism, multilingualism, and multi-religious mosaic of thought, expression, and practice. It is one of the most inclusive and tolerant democratic countries in the world in which the interest of all groups, including minorities, are taken care of with empathy and deep appreciation. It's a country which had presidents, vice presidents, prime ministers, Supreme Court judges, and heads of defense forces drawn from prominent minority communities. India is on the move and is fast becoming a favorite destination. I've been visiting across the globe, and earlier I was Minister for Development, Urban Development. Everywhere, wherever I went, there's a new found of enthusiasm and appreciation and recognition of the reforms that are happening. Our Prime Minister, Narendra Bhai Modi, has given a 3-line advice. He said, reform, perform, and transform. Transformation of the nation. That is what is happening in the country. I appeal to all of you also to join that development efforts, and also you are already partner in the development of this country, and join partnership in whatever manner you like, the development of our country also. I shall be visiting tomorrow the Chowthram Memorial Hospital being run by Chowthram Memorial Trust for the past 2 decades. I am happy to note that the hospital provides comprehensive Medicare to the people of Sierra Leone. I am pleased to note that the hospital is committed to the highest standards of medical and service excellence, patient care and medical education to the people of Sierra Leone. I would like to share with you the Government of India is also extending for disabled patients by organizing Jaipur Food Camp. Today I offered that we can conduct one camp here. 6 months back, I went to Malawi. There I inaugurated a Jaipur Food Camp run by our Indian organization. This is to commemorate the 150th Jayanti of Mahatma Gandhi. So, my dear friends, as I told you, I'm happy that I've come here along with our delegation. I could see this country meet the leaders, have discussions and deliberations of coming closer, working together for the betterment of both the countries and also for promotion of peace and progress, because peace is the prerequisite for progress. If you have tension, you cannot pay attention. You have seen in this country also what happened in between. Once the peace returns, the progress accelerates. So that is the message of India to the globe, and we want to have peaceful coexistence of all people living together in peace and harmony and happiness. I would like to compliment the ambassador for taking this initiative and also the Indian community organizations for all joining together. I am told that many people wanted to come here, but the space is limited in the hotel. Though the space in the heart of India is very large, but space here is limited. So we could not, they said that they could not accommodate more, but anyhow, you all have come here, and please take the message of India to your fellow brothers who are all living here. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
तो आप सुन रहे थे उपराष्ट्रपति एम वेंकैया नायडू को सिएरा लियोन से, जहां वो भारतीय समुदाय के लोगों को संबोधित कर रहे थे। इसी के साथ मुझे दीजिए इजाजत और देश और दुनिया की बाकी खबरों के लिए बने रहिए राज्यसभा टीवी के साथ। नमस्कार।